Hello, everyone. Welcome to Travelers, episode 12, featuring Destiny community artist Mr. Brian Moncus. Joining us this evening alongside Mr. Moncus is going to be Erik Digital, Contrabang, and CrayZJaye. How's everybody doing this evening?
Good.
Doing great.
Great.
Really hey guys, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good. Exciting week or weekend.
No, nothing happened. Nothing happened in the game. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
nothing at all.
Faction rally, nothing big.
Yeah.
Monarchy,
woo, big deal.
There's gonna be an hour-long faction rally speak.
Yeah, yes.
Talk.
We're tuning in for 1 hour of faction rally. Buckle in.
The viewer count just dropped.
Yeah, we just got reported. Yeah, all right. So, like I said, joining us this evening is Mr. Brian Moncus, Destiny community artist. How are you, man? Welcome in, and we're glad to have you. How's it going?
Good, doing great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
So, is this your first professional podcast?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it really?
Sort of, yeah. I did an interview sort of thing with them from Planet Destiny, but it wasn't a podcast, so
okay.
A little different.
No, well, thank you for letting us know that you think we're professional. We appreciate that. That's a big compliment.
Yeah.
No,
that's great so far.
Yeah. No, tell us. So, for those that don't know you, give us that little background. That background spiel. How'd you get started with art, and what drew you to the Destiny community specifically?
What drew me to the Destiny community? Really?
I mean, like to do art for that. Like,
no, I mean the whole drawing thing. That was, never mind. It's gone.
Yep.
Anyway, I was I don't know. Look, I guess we can start with Destiny because that's kind of where it started at for the kind of artwork that I do now. I started playing back in 2014 when everything was released. It was a little late. I wasn't in beta or anything like that. And I think I picked up the game probably a month after it came out, actually. And I don't know, just loved the game. I've always loved Bungie. I was a big Halo fan back in the day. And so started playing, and it wasn't until about 15 I started doing artwork close to the Taken King expansion. And there was I started with some like really cartoony stuff, like chibi type, really cutesy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember that.
Yeah, probably saw it around. They actually have some now on Bungie.net, some of the avatars that you can pick from.
Oh,
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a couple. But yeah, that kind of took off, and I did that for a while, and then sort of took a break, and came back with my more, I guess, serious stuff, and probably more of the stuff that people are used to seeing nowadays. So that's kind of a basic rundown.
So have you always drawn, or was it did you start drawing because of Destiny?
No, definitely didn't start in 14 and
yeah, I was about to say. Yeah,
I was about to say, the quality of that artwork. No, I mean, if you got that overnight, I would just not wait. I would just find an agent for you right now.
Yeah, seriously, man.
That's good quality stuff you got there.
Yeah, Destiny inspired me to just start drawing. Nah, I don't know. It's always been something I've done ever since I was little. Definitely wasn't anything special when I was little. Just got better and better at practice, and I try to do better every time I draw. So that's just one of those things as an artist, you should always do, and I guess it's helped my skills over time.
Hearing somebody of your caliber say that you try to get better every time is just kind of mind-blowing to me, and I'm sure it is to a lot of people, because we see what you're doing, and it's like you're there, it's like you already made it. So it's like, what do you but no, I think that's key to anyone who's a creator of any kind. Like, if as soon as you stop being happy with what you're making, like it doesn't turn out the same, I guess. So I guess that's a cool motivation. It must be to have while you're doing it.
There's always something you can improve on. Like,
yeah, it never ends.
My friend, he produces music, and he makes great music. And every time it's just like, nah, I don't like it. This thing's terrible. It's like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I feel like any artist is their own worst critic, and I think you have to be, because if you get satisfied to where you're at, doesn't matter how good you are, you'll never get better, and you won't ever exceed your own expectations. And it's just there's really no ceiling when it comes to art. And if I were satisfied with what I do every day, I'd probably get bored of it pretty quick. So
That's right. I mean, but there's always a calling, right? So with
Yeah.
Destiny and so much artwork that you have on Destiny and shirts and and stuff like that. I mean, what is it that drives you about the Destiny universe to go after it?
the lore,
Oh, there
the
you
lore
go.
behind everything.
Lore is big.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big lore buff in almost all video games that I play that has any sort of story. I mean, if we're going deep into like Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, I love that stuff, and that's what really inspires me. So when I got into Destiny, I started learning more. How we piece together the story, so to speak. You start watching these other content creators who create lore, like Bife and all them, and you really get a good sense of this world that you're playing in. And in my mind, the reason why my character is probably a little bit more rugged and darker is because the history to me of the lore of the game is it's really dark in some places, and Bungie does a good job of keeping it playful, but at the same time,
Hmm.
you know, it just has a different feel to me. So
Yeah, I remember Bife made a video about like how dark and gritty the lore really is compared to like how playful the game is. And I mean, I kind of wish it would go that dark route, and they are this expansion. But yeah, you're right, it's pretty dark.
yeah, I'm hoping this expansion does elaborate on that and goes a little darker. To be honest, I feel like it
It
should.
seems like it's gonna. I mean, you mentioned Bife. He just put out that lore video about Zol and this whole anomaly
Hmm.
thing that we're gonna get into here in a little bit. But yeah, like that whole darker tone. I mean, Forsaken poses to bring us some crazy raid boss that we haven't seen yet that doesn't have anything to do with the campaign necessarily. So, that has a lot of potential to do just that, to be a lot of a real Mad Max, darker Western vibe, man. And I'm actually curious to see what kind of stuff you come up with in
Well,
your drawings, with that.
Yeah.
particularly your art is very, like you mentioned, it's very dark, it's very edgy, it's very carbon like the way
Edgy.
the way you texture your characters and your corners for each of your designs. It almost feels like if you grab one of these characters, you're gonna cut your hands, to so to speak.
Yeah.
Your art reminds me of you ever played the Prince of Persia series, the second one, Warrior Within? Kind of remind me of that
I
type
haven't
of feel.
I haven't played that one.
The dark feel, it just kind of reminds me of that. It's so cool. I
I
love it.
think the reason why too is a lot of this. If you look at some of this, a lot of people think some of it's traditional, and it's all digital. But the reason why that probably is because most of my skills that I've attained come from a traditional background. Like I did a lot of foundation studies in college with charcoal, and when Procreate came out, especially for iPad, that's typically what I use now. A lot of the balance that I show in my lights and darks stems from that, original practice being traditional. Is we had to have values like that to push the light and the dark so much. And then going over to digital with all this, I'm able to just kind of bring that into what I do with Destiny. So I guess it fits.
Wow. Like everything you just said, I was just the way you described the light and the dark and the disciplines and how you do that and translating that to Destiny, I was like, wow, that actually fits so perfectly. It just blew my mind. Like,
Really, because
Yeah.
I picture a lot of dirty hands full of charcoal, in the
Yeah.
middle of the
just
night.
a lot of
Yeah.
stuff in the nails. A lot of stuff in the
Yeah.
nails.
A lot of
Yeah.
stuff in the nails.
Luckily with digital, I don't have to get too messy. So
Yeah, that's okay, so for me, I'm not an artist, right? Like I can't draw stick figures to save my life. So if you were to explain to me or someone that's maybe just getting into art for the first time, like Procreate and using a tablet and digital and all this stuff, like how do those things work and what's the difference between them in your experience? Could you explain like maybe which one's the best one to start with or anything like that?
yeah, I'm actually, I mean, I'm not that big of a digital artist. Even if you look at this and you're like, what, I mean, people who can do digital painting, I mean, that stuff blows me completely away. I can't touch Photoshop with a 10-foot stick and do anything with it. Like it's just a bunch of stuff to me. Like, but if you give me a basic tool and like a basic pencil, a basic eraser, I can do a whole bunch with it. But you can't give me a multitude of tools and expect me to be able to take shortcuts and do all these crazy, amazing things in like 10 minutes. Which is why, like, if you're looking for advice on that kind of stuff, it's best to go straight to the people that do it. My digital work is very limited. Procreate is a simple program if you're looking for something starter. It's new. You know, it's with the iPad, which is very inexpensive compared to like a Wacom tablet, which is like a Wacom tablet's like this big. Hold on, show you. Say this big pad.
Which one do you have?
Yeah,
You gotta
it's
grab.
literally a computer that
Oh,
you
yeah.
draw on, and
Cool.
these things run like $2,000. I mean, they're
Holy
expensive.
moly!
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
There it is,
Whereas
kids.
like an iPad is gonna
Mhm.
run you only like $600 to $700 now or something.
Couple
Yep.
hundred, yeah.
And then you got the Apple Pencil, which is like $100. But just with these two things, I mean, anybody that's interested in doing digital art, it's got a great program to start with. You know.
There you go.
I got one of the cheapo tablets for Wacom. Here's the pen. You know, the tablet is somewhere,
Yeah.
somewhere there, buried underneath the mouse.
Yeah, I
So
got an old.
I know what you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
got an old 4, and it collects more.
But
dust than
there is
anything
there
else.
is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
the
I've
old
never
4.
drawn. I haven't picked up a pencil to draw in a long time. I did start art school a long time ago and ended up in photography. Long story short, you know, I still keep some of the tools, you know, but use it or lose it. It's kind of the picture here. I
Perishable
used to be
skill.
good at it. Yeah, exactly. You used
Yep.
to know the entire keyboard for shortcuts for a specific program. 2 years later, you don't use it, you lose it. The same with skills. You know, I was having a conversation today with someone about writing in cursive, and it's been like 10 years since I wrote in cursive, and my handwriting is pretty bad right now.
Yeah, I can't write in cursive at all.
So
You
Contra,
know,
that whole
they don't
use
teach
it.
that in school anymore. Cursive. You know that?
Yeah, they don't teach it.
Like,
Really?
they don't
What?
do that. Yeah.
What?
Long form writing. And no
Exactly.
other
So
techniques.
that's a truly
ridiculous.
lost
That's
art.
crazy.
Yeah, that's so. You,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so when you go to the doctor,
Wow.
you can't read what they're writing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I disagree with some of my skills in art. Like honestly, I have to take breaks sometimes. I can't just do it and just keep doing it. Between getting burnt out and then just lack of content sometimes. If I take a break and come back, sometimes it's so refreshing that I find myself doing better than when I left off. When I say break, I don't mean like a week. Sometimes I'll take a month.
Oh wow. Okay.
Do you have
Makes
anything
sense.
in particular that you've drawn that's that's your favorite, or that's the one that you're most proud of?
Everybody asks that question.
Yeah.
It's such a common question, but most artists are going to tell you the one they're working on currently. If they're into the one that they're working on, it's going to be their favorite. Because
Alright.
if I look back at my other ones, I see flaws in them every time. I can't not see them once I've done something new, and I've taken that break away from that piece, and then I go back to it and I see something I don't like about it or something I could have done better. And every time I do one, you know, I'm really happy with it, but then it's on to the next one, and then it never fails. I'm never satisfied with what I do.
And this is the thing about artists, right? What you do is never finished. No
Nope.
matter how long ago you started, next time you look at it, even if it's hanging in a museum piece wall, you still want to touch it. You know, you still want to do something better with it.
I do. Me personally, I do. I can't call one finished.
So, one thing I wanted to ask you about is, so you had Destiny art, you did the cover for Game Informer not too long ago. Can you tell us how that came about and all that?
So yeah, I didn't actually do a cover that actually got printed for Game Informer. I think it was, when was Rise of Iron was 16, right? End of 16?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I believe
Yep.
so.
No, it's just harder.
Yeah.
So when Rise of Iron came out, Game Informer and Bungie got together and they just did like a contest. Basically, it was, you know, get your piece immortalized on a Game Informer type cover, and the team will sign it and that kind of thing. So 3 people won. You had 3 different winners, and I submitted mine. I honestly didn't think I was gonna win. I saw some of the other entries and they were great. So I just kind of let it go. I just submitted and let it go, and then next thing I know, I got a slot in it, and Bungie sending me a blown up print of with Game Inform. It looks like basically like the cover, except it's like a 18 by 24 piece with all their signatures on it.
That's
So,
awesome, man. Wow.
yeah. And then that led into, because of the guy that does all the Destiny content in Game Informer, Matt Miller, he actually is the one that contacted me, and then about a year later he contacted me again right before Destiny 2, or no, it was right after Destiny 2 came out, before everything started kind of getting rough. He contacted me and was like, Destiny's going real good right now as far as talk and everything, and we want to do like an interview with you on your artwork. And he asked me if I could, do a separate piece that I hadn't done yet, which is where the Stormcaller came in. And so he ran that interview, and I think it came out in the December issue of 2017. So that's the whole Game Informer thing.
Yeah.
It was like, almost like playing the lotto. You didn't expect anything and then got everything in return.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, it's sometimes stuff happens like that, I guess. I mean, I'm completely humbled by it, but it kind of blew me away. Still unbelievable to me as a kid growing up with these kind of magazines,
Yeah, no,
to be
that's
actually
really cool.
featured in one of them, yeah, that sounds like a
That's
great,
really cool, man.
Yeah,
really cool.
I was super stoked.
Well, Forsaken's ramping up, man. Like I said, I want to see those Mad Max, Scorn, dark tones. I can't wait to see what you come up with, though. With all that. I'm sure you're about to have a blast with that.
I can give you a preview of something.
Oh, dude, there it is, live preview. Let's go.
Is it?
Yeah, I haven't.
It's a gun. I bet you it's a gun.
Uh-oh.
It has a gun. See?
Oh,
Look at
My-
that.
Yep.
Yeah, my psychic powers did
Oh,
not trigger.
Oh
Look at
my
that.
god! All right, for all the audio listeners, that was
Exclusive.
that was an exclusive preview look at an Aldrin piece
cool.
by Mr.
Yeah.
Moncus here.
All right, if you guys want to see it
Wow.
again, clip it. Clip it on the screen.
Clip it, send it out, tweet it, whatever, and then tune in.
It's pretty rough on the screen, but it's coming along nicely. I'm happy with this one, so
That's
it's my
fine.
favorite so far.
Until next week, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
awesome.
we just
No, that looks
witnessed a
sick,
piece
man.
of the artwork, and it's only a very high contrast. You couldn't see any detail, but that's what you get when you want to show the audiences a bit. You don't want to give away the whole thing yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
that's
And
good.
it's not
The
finished
first
either,
one's free,
so-
kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Wait, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
It went dark to a lot of places.
Hey, we said darker tones. I mean,
That's what happens, I guess.
That's what they said. They said darker tones. I'm just trying to play into the theme, So yeah. So can I get another one of those Aldrin pieces? Could I? Yeah.
Game Boy other pieces.
Hey, actually,
These guys are scratching their beards, by the way.
Yeah.
If you can't, if you're listening to this
I was
podcast and not
fiending.
watching the stream. Yeah.
I was fiending. Yeah. Actually, so we got to meet at GuardianCon. Jay and I were there. We got to. Did you run into him?
Yeah.
What? No, we got a picture together. That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to get the Cade 6 piece that you drew, man, and I gotta tell you, like, it's definitely I'm waiting to get a frame for it because that thing is awesome, man. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Actually,
Really badass.
It's
that was
just
a last minute decision, to be honest, to actually make that piece before GuardianCon.
well, that was the right decision. No, no, it was really good, man. No, it was cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, all right, so we had to. We had something really exciting this week happen, guys. We just this little mission, this little thing that popped up.
Fax Rally?
Yeah, Fax. Oh yeah, Fax Rally. Yeah.
Bounties?
Prestige raid?
I don't know.
That was cool too, but yeah.
Had a
Oh, you mean the bounties?
Yep. All 5 of them.
All right, let's start from the top. How about the bounties? Did you guys forget, or did you go pick them up?
I picked up a
what was
couple
the
and then
deal
I
there?
forgot about
I
them.
actually picked them up. I actually picked them up, and then I forgot about the Mirror ones. I just completed the Crucible ones.
So 1 out of 4 people went to pick them up. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
When I was playing with friends, everybody told me, "Oh yeah, the bounties," and I'm like, "What bounties? Oh crap!" So we all had to go back to the tower and then go back to the Crucible, just to finish the
Wait,
bounties.
uh,
Again.
It's like the old
Are
days.
we talking about bounty, or are we talking about the anomaly thing?
Well,
Well, we're talking about bounties. Let's
Hold
do it.
on.
How many did you
Okay,
forget?
all right.
How many did you grab?
All right.
What do you think about it? Are we glad that
So-
it's back?
It's
I
a,
like
it's
it.
habit.
It needs improvement.
Yeah.
Like the Vanguard one is just all strikes. I don't like it.
Okay, improvement where? I want to hear that. Where? What do you think?
We should have like at least patrol bounties. Like in D1, we have patrol bounties. You had strikes sometimes. You had, you know, this to kill this many fallen, whatever stuff like that. You know, or kill
Did they?
captains.
So the reset was today. Did they change? Did they update, or is it still just
I
strikes?
think they're on a daily cycle.
Yeah, on daily cycle.
And
Yeah,
it's
and
just-
it's just strikes.
Okay, so they
Crucible
need
is
variety.
Crucible and strikes. Yeah.
Well, no, they have daily bounties with kill enemies and stuff like that this week, so it isn't that different from Destiny 1.
bounties.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like-
saying. We, you
But
know,
are
did
they
we?
strike specific?
They're not just strike
Yeah, yeah.
specific.
They're strike specific though, aren't they?
They come
Well,
from
yeah, of course. They're activity specific depending on who has them.
Yeah.
So if Lord Shax has the one for the Crucible, then Zavala has the one for the strikes.
And that's what I'm saying. Like before, there was like patrol mission one.
Yeah,
as
we had
well.
world bounties before,
Well,
but
because before you only had one robot giving them out.
That's true. There was a bounty board. What was that?
Yeah,
Makes sense now.
there was a bounty bot. But in
Makes
the
sense
day and
now.
age that we all hate bots, now
What
we're
about
talking actual
exotic
people.
bounties? Bring those back.
bring them
The
on.
ones that
Ooh.
drop randomly, like light in the dark for Thorn.
Yep.
Oh man,
Or that was a
Pocket
Yeah.
Infinity.
Ah,
Let's go.
Wait, can we get a
Yeah.
moment of
No.
silence? Can we get a moment of
Yeah.
silence for Thorn?
dude. You
Thank
know
you,
that
thank
that
you.
exotic quest for Thor wasn't even added to like the very last minute before the game launched.
I got it the last 2 months, and I took it out. I took my wrath out on everybody. I got revenge on everybody in the Crucible. In those two
in the
last
Thorn.
months.
Hey, I think
The one with
No,
Thorn.
Thorn
No,
up,
I'm
Thorn
talking about-
2.0 is coming in Gambit. I don't know how it's gonna work exactly, but we saw
Looks
the
cool.
gun.
Looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks like the
The Weapon
Taken
of
of 5
Sorrow.
version. Yeah.
Looks pretty
So-
cool.
But bounties, yeah, I think it could have some more variety. That'd be nice.
Mhm.
But I'm glad they're just back. I mean, at least we have them now. We went almost a year without them, so I mean, it's another thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
it could be a little
No,
beefier. A little meatier.
It's another thing to do, another thing to grind for, and help us XP up or whatever.
Hmm.
Well, they're engrams, right?
Engrams.
Rewards?
I think there's rewards.
There
tied.
were rewards when you can turn them
Yeah.
in, of
And
course.
shaders and some other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
So what about the prestige raid? Like, did y'all mess with that at all? I heard that they're a little lackluster, but what do y'all think?
I'll
I
leave it to
haven't-
Eric because he's the one that actually.
Yeah,
did
he's
it.
been raiding a lot. Yeah, he's our raid guy.
He's our raid guy.
Yeah.
And now introducing Eric,
the,
Digital, the raid guy. Go ahead, Eric.
The
Tell him to
loadout.
say.
So they had two modifiers last week, and it was Armistice, I believe, is the one where you have to empty your clip and then switch to another weapon. And,
Oh man, I tried that. Yeah.
that was pretty rough, along with the selected loadout, which was
Pulse rifle, submachine gun, and grenade
pulse-
launcher.
Yep.
God, it was terrible.
It was painful. And even last night, I was with a couple of buddies trying to finish Eater Worlds, and it just we got close in the beginning, and then we had some momentum, and then an hour and a half later, just still had Argos, just kind of fell apart. Things would get better than worse, but yeah, it's challenging. This week is a little bit more forgiving with the modifiers, but they got some ornaments tied to the prestige raid, as well as your 400 level weapons, which you cannot infuse into any legendary. So if you get
That's so sad.
you got to be careful with what you get
Yeah.
rewarded.
You do
The
have to
catalyst
say.
too, don't they? Some of the
What's that?
catalysts aren't some of the catalysts tied to the prestige?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yes.
there's I guess Telesto's in there somewhere, and
Yeah.
I guess,
Mhm.
but I didn't get lucky enough to get anything other than just the in-game rewards. So, but it's tough. But I'm excited to jump in this week because the modifiers seem far more.
So, Mr. Moncus, you say that you're a big lore guy. So, what, if any, changes do you think are on, happening now with this new introduction of chapters and the last raids that we're getting, in terms of lore preparing the game for the future?
I mean, with the you talking about new raids, or are you talking about Leviathan type stuff?
Leviathan type stuff, new raids. What do you think about this new mission that came in? The portal, everything we're talking, the Whisper that we're talking about.
Oh, well, I mean, I think that mainly like there was a good post on it, Twitter, how that weapon has just evolved from D1. Um, it's to me that's just something they've carried from D1. I mean, not in a bad way. I think it's good. It's just that
Hmm.
the lore and everything surrounding it. I like how it, if you remember right, it goes. I think it started in Crota's Inn, and then the exotic version came available in a heroic mission,
Yep.
and it just sort of evolved, and it's all hive based. I mean, the whole time it's just went along with each part of the story. Every time we had something new come out, that was hive based, and I mean, as far as lore goes, I think they should do that with more weapons. I think more weapons should carry on like, you know, things like that. Even whether it be Cabal or anything like that, they need to implement more lore into the weapons and what you have to do to obtain them. In my opinion, not just a few simple steps and you got a weapon. I think it needs to be like this. You know, I think you need to kind of experience something pretty hardcore. You know.
Well,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
the thing about story-driven games is that you always have to provide some sort of challenge that moves the story forward. And I think I know what you're getting at when you mean about, you know, them being hive-based, because in Destiny 1, even leading up to the Taken King, it was a hive-based, storyline. You got Crota, you activate, you wake up the guys in the moon, you go kill him, kill the prince, then the father comes. You know, it all leads to that game, end game where you kill Oryx, and then it leads to Destiny 2. You know,
Yeah,
and
and
now on Destiny 2, with the way that the story has been set up, and trying to revive a little bit of what the Taken were, and everything else. You know, it seems like it's been an uphill battle for the story, but
yeah,
you know, they're getting there. I don't know. What
yeah.
do you think about it?
So you're saying, I didn't read that Reddit post. You're saying the Reddit post is saying that the Black Hammer then is evolved into, what was it?
Spindle.
Black
Black
Spindle.
Spindle,
Yeah.
and now it's the Worm and Whisper.
It's
And
just think of it as tiers. Think of it like Crota, Oryx, and now Zol. Zol being like the worm god that the Hive are basically infused with, so to speak. How they get their power. I
yeah,
mean, you got like tiers here. You know. I mean,
yeah,
it just
yeah. And
it
if you,
keep, the
Everything
look
keeps
of it
building
too
on
evolves.
itself.
You know.
Yeah.
yeah, now it's more Taken-ish than just Hive. It's more
Yeah.
just taking the
And
gun now.
who knows the connection between Zol and any of the other Taken issues that are going on with Oryx's sister, so to speak.
Go for it.
Sabathun.
Something, yeah. It's interesting, man.
Yeah.
It's I actually Jake Parker actually got helped me get my he has a theory that maybe next week will be a different location to try to get that again. Maybe I don't know. That'll be
Whoa,
interesting.
you think so?
Yeah.
I mean, as big of a mission area as that
Me
was, and how many
personally,
assets were in there, do you think they'd go somewhere else?
I don't think so, but it'd be interesting. I think one, or this opens up the door again for them to do more stuff like this, like Ryan said, and then they could do weapons like this, maybe a thorn
No,
or
yeah, I
uh,
definitely agree with that. I think that the level, the level they went to make this mission just for this weapon and the lore behind it, we absolutely need more of it. I could understand developmentally how that might be a challenge. However, you know, it pays off every time. So just
this
keep doing it.
this brought the community community back together. You have people Sherpa, like it remind me of Destiny 1. You have people Sherpa, you have people going to Twitch chats looking to
I need
help,
it.
looking for help. It reminded me very like Destiny 1, man. It was like it felt like we're back in Destiny 1, and
Isn't it ironic how they make this thing so hard that you got a lot of people who can get it and then a lot of people who can't, and so you kind of divide people, but that actually brings people together. Versus
my,
D2 when it came out, they made things so flat that everybody was,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
Yep.
separated.
it's
Yeah,
so weird. It's so
it's
weird,
weird.
but you need that complexity to make people work together and be happy when they attain something.
Yes, exactly.
I agree.
It's great, man. I love it. More, please more. Bungie give us more of
So
this.
in regards to lore, yo, how about that Vex portal and the seventh chest and all that? Like, holy crap!
That
Like,
was so cool.
That was
dude, we
interesting.
got a twofer. We got the spindle mission at 2.0, and then they're like, wait, on the right, And if you look to your right, there's a Vex gate into the Vault of Glass. Oh, and there's an Oracle puzzle to solve too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't. This is too much. I
It's-
just can't. This is
It's
great.
crazy.
It's
It's crazy
amazing.
how the Vex and the Hive or slash Taken are always kind of interconnected somehow. Somehow, some way, they're always. Something happens where they're. If you bring one in, the other one comes in eventually. Like, it's interesting.
Well, you have like the Hive Throne World, and then you have like the Vex can just kind of go anywhere, and then you have the Ascendant
they-
Realm
which
with the
I think
Taken and
they-
all that, which I
I
guess
think
is
they
the
learned
same thing.
Yeah, they learned that from the Hive, I believe, because I
Lord
remember
Pitfall approaching.
reading somewhere that the Hive actually invaded Crota's realm or whatever. It's in yeah, right? No,
I mean
that's
the what was it the Vex that invaded his realm?
yeah, it was a
or-
Vex,
Yeah.
Something like that.
and that's how they met Oryx, and then from there, I think the Vex tried to like not copy, but learn about the sword logic and how it is, and now they're really kind of interconnected, like how they move and stuff.
All right, I'll take a leap because when you're writing stories about magic and technology, you know, and you start to explain fictitious magic or fictitious technology with magic or technology, you go down this spiraling loophole, right? That never ends. And this is why I say like pitfall warning. But when you have the Ascendant Realm and you know you have Oryx traveling on a ship, but Crota traveling inside a crystal, and a city existing inside a plane that is inside a portal that you need to, you know, a piece of a crystal.
This is great. I love it. Keep going.
You know, was it to say that, you know, oh, and you have the Vex being able to recreate themselves from any point in time because they're actually living outside time, hence, you know, Atheon. You know, and you travel to the future, which in the Crucible is like 10,000 years when the Vex actually win on the simulation. I mean, come on. What is it to say that Destiny 3 wouldn't just be Destiny 1 all over again? Like,
Wouldn't
They
it
just
be
come
the-
full
circle.
wouldn't that be the biggest, the biggest play?
It's
Oh my
literally
God.
Inception.
It's like
Yeah,
the Black Dorito ships are actually piloted by Bungie developers, and they actually like reveal themselves in game, like, and it's Deej at the helm.
don't make me have a Neil deGrasse Tyson moment. You know,
Uh-oh.
explaining how ships at the edge of the galaxy,
He's gonna
200,000
science the
light
shit
years
out of it.
away, exactly can get a signal from the traveler the moment he wakes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get me started. But it's a game, and we're gonna go with it. We're gonna
and
go
then
with
and
it.
then the stranger Elsie Bray shows up. Hey, can I have my gun back? I like.
No,
Can
no.
I just have it back now? Like, can you
Time
do the thing?
travel.
Well, they
It's such a
admitted
weird
that the
thing.
stranger and everything else were just throwaway plot devices just to get you interested into the story. You know, otherwise the stranger would have been back.
Well, they
No,
just
otherwise-
they wrapped
She
up
is-
her story is all they did, but and it
She kind of
nicely
is
so.
back. She
Yeah.
kind of is back.
She can still come back. I mean,
yeah.
there's nothing
Yeah.
that could stop that from coming back. I mean, it's not like she's dead or anything.
I think when they made the decision to reveal her identity in Warmind, they brought that in. That was hinting that she's gonna come back eventually.
Guys, this is
Yeah.
Bungie. You know what they're gonna say next? That's Anna Bray's sister. That's it. Boom. It's close. She's like version 6, so she doesn't remember she's a Bray.
Hey, you know, I'm with Cobb in chat. He says bring back. He's basically saying like bring back Omnigul, right? Silence her.
Yeah.
Silence her screams.
Silence her hot flashes. He says.
This chat is ridiculous right now.
I mean, hey, so no, okay, so actually, serious like lore moment here, like the whisper of the worm sniper that we just got is talking about how Zol, by dying, he actually became the weapon, and by us using the weapon, we're actually carrying out his will, right? So, like, what weapon does Omnigul become if the Hive become things like that? Like, what is she?
No,
I
whatever
don't
it
know,
is,
Grasp-
it's gonna be
but,
arc.
but I probably know what they were smoking the night they wrote.
The guy from Omnigul. Man.
He's smoking something.
Also-
Probably just
also-
a giant
quick-
bullhorn that she screams into and just fires it at people. Their screams.
Quick side note. So before in Destiny 1, we never had enemies come back from the dead. Like, they never came back from the dead. Once they were dead, they were dead. You can't take dead people. Now, in this mission, we had 3 dead D1 enemies who came back as taken.
Oh yeah, Urzok, that
That's-
son of a
that's-
bitch.
that's
Well,
interesting.
Omnigul came back. Remember when they did the
But she didn't come.
Boss.
She didn't came back. She didn't come back taken.
Not
no,
yet.
she undid her death is what the
Yeah,
what
but she-
Kate said. Or,
But she wasn't taken. Like, that's the thing.
Oh.
One of the
Yeah,
rules
these
was
three
you
came
can't
back as
take dead
taken.
people. Yeah, these 3 all came back as taken, which is interesting. I wonder if
I don't know. Let's Brian confirm, please. You're the lore master here. These guys are, you know.
I don't know. I
It's
mean,
all
I guess it's
speculation.
as good as mine. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
the bosses that were spawning in Lost Oasis weren't they? The Cabal one wasn't that Brachus?
No, it was
No, it was
Valis to Arik.
Yeah,
We're
Tarek.
still, whether we wanted it
yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
whether we wanted to or not. Who said the Lord? Come on, Moncus.
That would be funny if they threw that somehow
Oh
in
my
there.
God,
I
they
would
have
love
to.
that. I would love that.
See, that would be great. That would be great.
The biologist says it. He's like, wait, I said it before.
Yeah.
Speaking of, did anybody else wait like 4 or 5 hours on IO to get the public event?
No.
I know a lot of people that
Or
did.
Sunday night. It was Sunday night. Yeah, I did.
Jake
See,
Parker actually said
I am
he was
lucky with
on-
these things. I get there and there's the portal open, and there's a guy waving, and I wave back and I jump into the portal, and try to do a solo.
We literally waited. It's Cabal event after Cabal
Live
event.
dangerously. Live
Yeah,
dangerously.
Jake said he waited like about 7 or 6 hours, something like that, because he was helping people all day when it first came out.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
But then, yeah, he waited a while. He said he did like he upped at least like 20 people that day. But yeah, 7 hours.
7 hours. My
and
God.
then the last day, I think I think it's random. Like the servers have it randomly as when this pops up. But it was coincidental that it was like it popped up like a 10:40 or like 9:45 or 1:45, 12:45 Eastern time, 15 minutes before it ended. So it's like it's your last chance.
Yeah.
It's your absolute last chance. You can't come back to this.
I
Well,
think
actually,
they should.
Helmet Fire was saying it yesterday. 12 hours to go, guys, and he tags everybody on his Twitter post.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, you're off by 12 hours.
Well, they tweeted that really late at night though,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it meant to be sent out earlier, but it wasn't. So I was like, hey, let people know at least, even though I wasn't grinding it because I don't, my light's not high enough yet. But yeah, I don't know.
All right, and we have Angel Zero who's just joined us.
Beaming
Hey,
in.
Angel, how's it
What's
going?
up, guys?
Yo, she's here.
How's it going?
Yeah, finally.
This is when you need a soundboard with special effects.
Yes. I need
All right.
something special for me.
We are on the topic of the Whisper and the lore behind it. And now, I guess, how hard was it?
I haven't done it.
What?
Have not even tried it yet.
You're off
Okay.
this podcast.
Yep. See ya. Rip.
Okay, bye, guys. Well-
Thanks for showing up. I'm just kidding. I think
I haven't done it yet. I haven't gotten a chance to.
You get one this week. I think it was very appropriately hard.
I loved it.
It was so much fun, dude. It was so much fun. Like I did well, you did it the first time to get it, second time to get the catalyst, I think, and then, like the third time to do like the ship. I did it 3 times, 4 times up with a friend. It was lots of fun. I liked it.
My light wasn't high enough, but I watched a lot of streams and a lot of other people playing it out just to kind of get that feel for it and what we're getting into. And just like when we had the mission to D1, it was it's like really freaking hard, man. What are the enemies like 385?
Yeah.
But then in the heroics they're 400. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't even.
Yes, something like that.
It
I know
is.
that.
I think it is.
I know the last day Jake went on his brother's account and he was supposed to like 360, I think, and the enemies were like red. So
Yeah.
it was.
That was
My,
heroic
yeah.
version.
No, it was the regular version. Heroic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it was red for him. Heroic version. Like I don't know what they were, but it was hard too.
I think it was 400.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We went in there blind the first time. I didn't watch any YouTube videos or anything, and I just went in there and I was like, oh wow, this is a lot more than I thought it was, because I think in D1 it was just a massive amount of enemies in the room. I mean, it wasn't really a whole lot to it other than it was just really hard.
Yep.
Well, I didn't do the whole thing, but just watching it reminded me more of, which was it? No Time to Explain.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
go in,
Yeah.
Venus, you go underneath, you try not to fall. There's a lot of jumping. I got that same feeling. And then you get to the end. Obviously, I couldn't get to the end because I got lost because I tried to do it your way, which is no videos. I'm gonna figure this out on my own, and then run out of time. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So second you jump in there, once you get teleported in, you get immediately like that darker tone that we've been asking for a long time, which is very, it's a stark contrast compared to the rest of the game.
I mean, how much time did everybody spend on this event? Just out of curiosity.
God, dude.
The whole weekend, most people like.
Well, are we talking actually in the mission or just waiting around on IO for the public event to spawn?
Both.
In the mission, I think I ran it 6 or 7 times between Friday and Monday.
Wow.
I mean, that one event, like, what does that say about?
It was awesome. I loved every
one
second.
event, and you get that much playtime just from that one little thing.
Nothing else.
It's great.
Weekend.
It shows that Bungie knows what it takes. They just gotta keep doing it, man. Just gotta keep doing it. Like that's just this is the, and this goes back to like the trailer for the Forsaken DLC. I forgot who said it, but one of them mentioned when make Destiny back into like a hobby game, make it back to a hobby, and this is a perfect example. I mean, people ran this all day, every day for last weekend. Like,
the other thing I like about this is that this is like a precursor to Forsaken in the idea of like killing an enemy. It opens a portal to the Ascendant Realm. They said as soon as we like finish the main campaign, that's when we can start doing that and going into the Dreaming City and the Ascendant Realm and doing that. So this also kind of like is prepping us for that, and it's not going to be in just one spot. Luckily, apparently there's multiple places where we'll be able to activate these portals, so to speak, and then do whatever it is we're going to do there. We don't know yet, also having something into the playing into the end game a lot too. I'm really excited about the Dreaming City. It looks great. Like, I'm so excited to just break that open,
Sorry, we're
reading chat. Sorry. Brian, you got to go down. You got to go down.
You're above me. You're above me
on the stream. You're above me. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, crazy. Let's go. Let's go, crazy.
All right, let's go.
So.
I squash your head.
Yeah. No, the Dreamy City, the end game. So, like, what do you? We talked about this on the show before, Brian. What do you think? Who do you think the raid boss is going to be? Who or what?
I have no idea.
Oh,
honestly,
come on.
Speculation. Dreaming City, I have I don't even know what to expect there, to be honest. I'm
Isn't
not
that
a clue.
fun though?
It is. That's what's so great about Forsaken. I mean, I guess you guys got to play Gambit. All that stuff, like Gambit coming.
No. We did not get to play Gambit.
Oh, really?
No.
Nope.
Oh, that's right. I remember you guys saying that. Well, I did. Me and Cobb did. It was actually.
Oh, okay.
It was really good.
What class did you play?
I got the Titan boost, and I think Cobb did too.
Did you get to fly?
Yeah,
how was your flight time? Did you get frequent flyer miles?
I did. The best part was once I learned that one of the new shoulder charge abilities is not actually a shoulder charge.
It's the death from above.
Yeah, it's the old D1 death from above. Once I learned that, I actually was able to take out one guy that came through on us with it. And it felt good,
That's cool.
But like that
nice.
and the new super was it was really odd. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just odd to get used to because it's just crazy how much damage you do. Like you do an AOE, then you sail, and then you land to do some more damage. So it's just massive. And the bows, we use the bows. Those were interesting.
Are they pretty crispy?
I think we have to get used to them more. I feel like they can do better damage, but it's just the weapon type is just different for me.
I was watching somebody play it, and they were wrecking with that thing, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
apparently it's a 2-tap, no matter if it's head or body, but that's if you have it drawn all the way back, and then when it's drawn all the way back, it's on hit scan. So
yeah, you have to have it completely drawn, and there's also a slight arc to it. Like there's a drop in the arrows, which is
Ooh,
nice.
I like
Makes
that.
sense.
You got to lead
Drop
the
off,
shot a
yeah.
little bit. That's nice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, in terms of Forsaken, though, what would make sense, do you think, coming from the story? We got a dead, possibly dead or wounded or almost dying Marasov somewhere. You got Prince Aldrin, joining together with a bunch of bandits, escapees probably from the Prison of Elders. We know there's summoning in this game where people can be revived and brought back. What to you would make sense, given those details about the progression of the story?
Well, a lot of people, to me, everybody wants to think that Marasov wouldn't have anything to do with Aldrin doing what he's done because he seems to be rogue on this. But there's a tidbit of, I think it's on one of the grimoires or something that someone brought up that Marasov, or he actually, it actually talks about Aldrin from his. It doesn't say who's talking or who's thinking these things, but after knowing what Aldrin has done, you kind of get an idea that it was him thinking these things when you read this. But it actually mentions stuff like her talking about her approval. He senses her approval in what he's doing, kind of thing.
Yes, I know you're
I
talking about.
forget the actual wording, but that leads you to believe that maybe there is a connection and Marasov has something to do with it. I don't know.
The grandma you're talking about is when he goes up to the House of Kings, and I think he actually takes out the Kel or something like that. He becomes the leader of the king, the Kel of the House of Kings. And then it's something about like he senses his sister's presence and she approves. Something like that. Yeah. So
I don't know. I mean,
it's like he's doing this for his sister. But there's something going on in the background we don't know about yet, and his motivation has to be his sister. Something about his sister. Has to be.
Which would kind of be really cool and twisted,
I mean, what I was saying this before is like, Aldrin has never been known to do anything outside of the Queen's wishes. So, I mean, is he breaking away from that, or is he just are they in cahoots about it? Like, did she order it, and if so, what the hell?
Hey, I thought we were friends.
Yeah.
Well, in the beginning of Destiny, also, like those first few missions, she was very wary about us too, and didn't trust us like at all. We had to earn her quote unquote trust. So, did we actually earn it, or is she keeping us close to later destroy us in the race because she's the boss?
Well, maybe I don't know. One thing I just remember too is a whole thing with Eris. With Eris
I forgot about Eris. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. So is Eris involved in somehow? Because it sounds like Eris and her are working together at the end of taking King.
Yeah.
So was she involved?
Well,
in this?
she said my queen. Now that could be Mara. That's what everybody thinks, but we gotta consider Savathun. You know what I'm saying?
No, because in the beginning we mentioned who was talking. Mara was talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
The very first scene. And she says something about my hidden friend or something like that. Right? Yeah. And at the end, we get the Eris out of it.
She says the Awoken have done their part. And she speaks to her as the hidden one. That's what she calls her.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the very end, we get Eris talking, saying "my queen." So like they have to be working.
I think it's
somehow.
Misdirection personally, but I guess we're gonna find out, ain't we?
Well, according to an article from Eurogamer.net, Aldrin is trying to find Marasov.
Ooh.
So that would be interesting to see if maybe she's trapped somewhere. And the reason why I pose the question is because one of the things that I believe that may happen is that the boss or the raid boss at the end will be a different Marasov, reincarnated, taken over, possessed.
Ooh, taken Mara.
Taken Mara, possessed. You have to free. I don't know. It'll be. It would be.
Yeah, interesting. Dude,
it would be kind of corny, like Mario saves the princess type of deal, but but it's interesting at the same time.
Now I'm thinking like, okay, so Aldrin's doing this, whatever, trying to find his sister. Maybe you do find his sister and she's the raid boss, or maybe in doing what he's doing now, he awakens something and awakens something that he didn't know about. He got manipulated by that Taken, and he awakens Savathun somehow or something like that. We get Savathun for a raid.
All right, Brian, I got something for you. How about and I would ask you to draw it as you would, picture it in your mind.
Taking Marisol.
Taken Marisol. Yes.
Oh, man.
Like
That would
Pirate
be
Queen
awesome.
Marisol, but she's taken. So
Taken.
she's gonna have
Pirate
different
Queen.
appendages coming out of her neck, and who knows what else. I mean, but she's still gonna be kind of pretty and all that. But
And like I said,
but
you have
super
that
evil.
edgy, yeah, you got that edgy carbon-like, art style that you can add to it. You're the man to do this.
It's just gonna
Hey,
be box
they-
check.
All they got to do is give me a screenshot to go off of or something like that, and I'll twist it a little bit further. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I like my thing is with drawing and everything. I can make things up, but when it comes to Destiny artwork, I like to have that foundation of what's already there and just kind of build on it a little bit and make it a little bit more detailed and grittier. But I mean, yeah, that would be really cool. That would be really, really sweet looking.
Like she just floats down as like, I'm back,
Mhm.
Guardian. She's not even walking, she's floating. Like, and you're like, oh sh, whoa, like this golden gun. It's not working. Click, click, son of a bitch.
That would be sick.
She could be a very strong enemy too. I mean,
Dude, she summoned the Harbingers. I mean,
Yeah,
it didn't work on
exactly.
Oryx, but if
Nice
she's
stuff.
taken, then it'd be like Harbingers 2.0, and who knows
All
what
right.
that's gonna do.
All right, I'm gonna have
Conscious
another
had it.
Neil deGrasse moment, Tyson, whatever.
He's had it. He's
Sounds
like, I'm
your
done with
name
this.
right, scientist, doctor. Sorry, but if you look at a picture from I'm just gonna say Uranus,
What now?
Uranus.
the Saturn rings.
The Saturn.
If you look at
Full
the
of it.
picture and you look at the radius of the explosion, the size of the dreadnought is the size of planet Earth.
Holy shit!
Really?
Right.
Yeah. I
So if
guess
you look
so.
at it from that
Mhm.
perspective of what Earth would look like in the rings, and then the size of the hole and the size of the dreadnought, it is as big as a moon or a planet.
That's a big hole.
So if she can summon, if she can summon enough void light to blast that thing to non-working parts, then that she's gonna be a powerful guardian.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do. Is it September yet? Damn, man.
I know.
It's
We got another.
coming quick, dude.
It is coming
Oh,
quick.
God.
I will say that. I can't believe it's already almost August. But yeah, we got it coming up. Oh, and, real quick, we can just go over it. Solstice of Heroes is coming up at next week? Is it next week? That's
Yep,
yeah,
next
another
week.
week from now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. About a
totally
week.
forgot about that.
Yeah. So right now you can do the Prestige raid for the 400 weapons. You can only infuse them into exotics. Solstice of Heroes is going to bring us that armor set that's like super customizable. That's going to be really cool. 400 lights. So presumably 400 lights what we're going to be able to go into Forsaken with. And I think seeing stuff like this Spindle mission is kind of like, hey, you might want to do this, because before I was like, nah, I'll just wait until Forsaken. And then they're like, oh, here's this mission that you probably could use the 400 light. Shit, I have to do it now because I want the thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm wondering what else they're going to chunk at us between now and then, with the Solstice. And does anyone know what actually they're going to do for that? Like, do we actually know what it's going to
No,
entail?
we just know it has
No.
some pretty cool looking armor. That's all I know.
So
Yeah.
they haven't
Yeah.
told us the thing we got to do for it yet. Yeah.
It was in the database. It was just random things you had to do to
Like-
get to each ornament or
Yeah, it's
each
like
of
Age
the
of-
armor.
It's kind of like the Age of Triumph stuff from.
Right. Yeah. You just go back in and
Yeah.
do activities in the game. Nothing too.
Oh, the
Yeah, so
heroic
that's
story
what I
missions.
think.
That's right. Yeah, we did. We went
Yeah.
over that.
Yeah, I think this is more like you say, Age of Triumph, where we're revisiting our year in Destiny 2 and
I think
celebrating it.
bounties will be tied to one of those pieces of armor.
Yeah, I think so.
but We'll have to
That's- yeah.
remember to go do those. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I love the Scorched armor set. I'm glad that we're gonna actually have that available to us, like in the form of ornaments. But that's just because I like to do machinima stuff, and it's just I just like it, like like I come out of a Crucible match with all this busted ass armor because my KD's trash. That's why. That's why I look like this, people. Like But the Solstice gear does, but the ramped up version of the Solstice gear looks really good. I actually really am going to be chasing that. It looks really nice. I don't know what we're laughing at in chat, but
Oh, chat's
It's
awesome
bad.
right
Don't
now.
look.
don't
Don't look.
It's bad.
R-rated chat
Keep
people.
on track.
Yeah,
Keep on
Chad
track.
is deep right now.
This is-
It
It's
is
deep.
going down a very dark path.
Deep lore.
has been really a dark episode.
Yeah,
But,
this is
If you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on a podcast, well, your eyes have been,
Safe.
Spared. Yeah.
You have been spared from the deep.
been spared.
Indeed.
I
Oh
can't
my
see well
God.
from my left eye.
Hey, isn't that what the Hive call it? They call it the deep. Like that's kind of their a thing with them. Yeah.
Yeah, the deep. Yeah.
Yeah, the deep.
You should drown in the deep.
yeah.
You shall drift.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shall drift. Yeah.
Well, we know. I guess it's confirmed now what type of worm is Titan as well, since it's all Zol.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that'll come into play at some point too.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
worm on
it has
Titan. I
to.
know. I wonder which one it is because there's only like three
Three
more alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Akka, I think Oryx killed to get his power, and we just killed
Oryx got
Zol. So there's like eye, ear, and whatever. I
Well,
forget their
but-
names.
Yeah. Also,
Don't forget. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I just had a random thought again. Back to like the whole. Back to the whole. I can't look at chat. Back to the whole. The raid. Who enemy might be, or what's going on, what's the motives. Not so. There's Fallen, the Scorn or whatever, or the new Fallen. They are revived. Fallen, right? Or like zombie, whatever.
The zombie
thought-
fallen.
Yeah.
I thought the Scorn were more of like kind of what something like a Fallen that had been in prison years and years and years and years had turned
No,
into, basically.
They
No,
actually
they're-
said
they're-
that they're reanimated over and
Yeah,
over
okay.
again. So they're just
Yeah.
like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So like that brings me to like think of Nokris might be or something, some type of like resurrection. Not Nokris being about directly, but maybe they learn something. Like maybe the Fallen learned something from Nokris and they're reviving, and that's maybe how Uldren wants to bring back the Queen, reviving her somehow. Even
There's
if she might not be
definitely
there.
a lot of potential for. I mean, a lot of theories, to be honest. Just the ways they could do things.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, to me, that's the one that sort of makes more sense. He's trying to find his sister and helps her get reanimated, and now we got Pet Cemetery, Princess Marisol.
whoa. I'm like all these ideas we've had tonight. I'm like do all of it at the same time. So that makes 3
Everything.
versions of Marasov that we got to fight. That's gonna suck. So we got at least 5 or 6 reanimated somethings in there.
We
And
got
yeah.
a very interesting omnivore fight from chat.
So if I could just take a shard of the Traveler and get him in my backpack as a extra boost of fuel, because I don't know if Ghost is gonna hack it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, speaking of shards, you are part Taken. Sorry, not Taken, Hive, right?
Part
you killed
Hive.
Oryx. You went back for his essence before the wizards were trying to revive him.
Well, we had the
yeah,
touch of
yeah.
malice. We did have that,
Yeah.
but we don't have it anymore.
Well, but you're
Wait,
still the
where-
same guardian, even though you're loot, and I mean, even though you lost the tower,
Where-
you're still you.
We
We're
are
Ascendant
Ascendant Hive, I
Ascendant.
guess.
Or Ascendant
Yeah.
Hive, I guess you could say. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We were
We're
also
Ascendant.
Iron Lords too, but I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I
Just-
feel like
They don't recognize the rank anymore. I guess they just say
Yeah.
screw it. Yeah.
Sounds
Saladin
like-
just
We weren't good enough.
Saladin bumped his head. Saladin just
Yeah,
bumped his head.
Iron Banner is mostly about the ornaments nowadays. It's not really anything,
You gotta buy the.
once before it did, yeah.
So
well, it did
he's
have-
more like the cashier at Iron Banana Republic. No.
Oh my
No.
god.
All right. I'm
Uh,
fired.
Yeah,
Let's-
but
let's- let's not
before
talk
in
about,
Destiny 1,
purchases.
in Destiny 1, if you couldn't do Skolas to get your 34 etheric light, you would wait for Iron Banner and you would do that, and then you would get your etheric
Yeah.
light anyways.
It was one of the best ways to get light level up back then. You weren't raiding or.
Yep. If you weren't raiding and you couldn't do any other activity to get you up to level 34, you waited for Iron Banner, and then you had a good time with 6 other of your friends. Back, I remember Skolas being particularly frustrating for people lasting up to 6 to 8 hours trying to finish the guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, when
I
it
mi-
first
I
came
mi-
out,
I
it was pretty
myself-
hard. Arc burn. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I was that guy.
Yeah.
Me and my friend were that guy. The first week he came out was lots of fun.
Yeah, and you had 2 Prisons of Elders, so you had that. You had Trials of Osiris, so you had that. There was many ways to level up your gear to the maximum amount of light. And now it seems like it's so disparate that there is no one specific way. And if you try to do it, you have to do everything. You have to do the raid, you have to do the nightfall, you have to do the strikes. I mean, I'm glad that they added ways to rank up using other things like Crucible, but you sort of never got there even before this expansion. The ranking system was kind of broken. This is the first time I feel for the past couple of months that we have been able to actually rank up with every different activity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it moves pretty smoothly for us. Only thing I will say that they, touching on some of the, I meant to say this when we were talking about lost sectors, is you guys had to do a escalation protocol with Renown yet?
No,
Not
just
fun.
jump off the cliff.
My God.
It's not
Yeah,
fun.
just
You
do
get,
Yeah,
you get like 3 Renown. It's like, everybody go kill themselves 3 times for the next
It's,
escalation protocol.
it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that whole
I
system needs a little rework.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an oversight, I think.
Also, lost sectors and whatever. I feel like when they first heard lost sectors, I feel like this is what lost sectors was gonna be like. But it's not.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, so for Forsaken, we're getting a new outlaw style, like they're called outlaw lost sectors in Forsaken. It's where they are going to be harder and better, and like there's going to be a bigger boss at the end of them and stuff, and there's going to be a set number of them, but it is a cool expansion on lost sectors that they're doing. As far as the faction rally involvement, I would like to see them shelve it after season 3 ends and then bring it back after a couple of months of us playing Forsaken, and just rework it a little bit. But at least while we're not doing faction rally when Forsaken comes out, we got those outlaw lost sectors that are gonna be a lot harder.
Yep.
That'd be really cool. I always felt like they could have done more with the lost sectors. So
Yeah. I feel like if we get more, this feel like more like I guess a dungeon. Like WoW. There's like like a dungeon type of feel.
Even if they said, "Hey, look, you got these. We're gonna give you a 1% chance to get a piece of armor right here." I'd grind them all day if it was a cool piece of armor or something.
Give us that character chase in Lost Sectors for sure. Yeah.
I agree. Well, guys, I think that's all we have time for this evening. I hate to cut it short. We are running a little over, and believe me, I would love to talk more about how many different versions of Marasov we're gonna get. But yeah, no. Anyway,
I only want one version.
One version.
The one that this guy is gonna draw.
Yes, the Taken.
I'll do it.
Taken
Brian,
version.
do it.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it. Mr. Brian, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was definitely a blast having you on and learning more about what you do. Yeah, man, appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me on, especially so quickly after Guardian Con. I appreciate it.
We're glad to have you, man. Where can people find you and all your works?
Instagram, Brian Moncus. Twitter, Mr. Moncus. Those are primary 2 places, and then of course you got the DeviantArt and ArtStation, which mostly just my name, Brian Moncus. So, but yeah, those are the 2 best places to find me. Just Twitter and Instagram. I upload there pretty regularly when I can.
Do you do commissions? Anything about that?
I don't. Not really. I have, but it's rare occasion, and it's usually when I know I can fit one in. Just because each one of these take me so much time. I just, try to fit in commission. If I do one, I have more people that try to ask, and it would kill me.
I think it's so freaking cool.
Yep.
And the Helmet Fire is pulling out the art.
For the
That's
Cade
so
6
freaking
piece
cool.
that I got signed and everything.
Oh yeah. And
Oh,
we got a
yeah.
digital one also on screen from that.
Pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy one so bad, but I was gonna buy the.
So-
So this one more time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
I think
Aldrin
so.
piece.
Cool.
God,
Aldrin,
I
is
cannot
that
wait
a-
for that. That is sick.
That's a score
That's
behind it.
Cade's
That's
gun.
so freaking cool.
Yeah,
Yes, the
that's-
Ace of
that's
Spades.
really cool,
That's
man.
So freaking cool.
You heard him. Hey, so commissions, get your pre-orders in. Is that it? Any pre-order bonuses?
No.
That's because a true artist. He doesn't do commissions.
He did pre-order bonuses.
He lives off
Get your
wine and bread.
pre-order bonus of the Ace of Spades.
Yeah, yeah.
Ace of Spades
Yep.
life-size model.
Ooh,
Yeah,
wow. I'd pay for that.
I would too. In a heartbeat.
Miss Angel Zero, where can people find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at angel_Z3RO and on Twitch at AngelZ3RO.
There you
By the
go.
way, that's Angel Zero.
Mr. Contrabang.
I keep it simple. I have contrabang.com. That's contra with a bang.com.
Contra with a bang.
Catch with bang.
Mr. Eric.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Erik_Digital_.
Mr. J.
Oh my god. Stop this. Stop before it catches
To all of
fire.
you that don't know, that's kind of an ongoing joke between these two guys. Yeah.
Just stop before it catches up.
Puddin'.
No. I'm at twitch.tv/Cray, so
Cray Cray.
CrayZJaye, yeah. CrayZJaye and JAYE. Same with my Twitter. And yeah. Also add me on, follow. Yeah, there you go.
He tells you Adam, but he'll ignore you.
Adam, yeah, get blocked. No, I'm just kidding. My name is The Helmet Fire. You can follow me on Twitter at The Helmet Fire. You can also follow my YouTube channel where I do Destiny videos and other stuff like that. I am working on a Destiny machinima right now called The Last Blade Dancer. It is like a cross between Destiny and Star Wars. That's coming out very soon. Eric, big shout out to Eric and Angel Zero here for helping film that. And hats off to you guys. They've really helped out a lot with that, so thanks to them. And then, of course, for travelers, we stream live every Tuesday evening, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/travelerspodcast. You can follow us on Twitter at travelerspc. And please, if you do have any questions for the crew, anything you'd like us to discuss, please shout us out on Twitter. Ask us those questions. We'll answer them live on the show. Other than that, thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Thanks everybody in the chat for participating. And thank you for all those follows. We really, really appreciate it. And thanks to all the hosts and our special guests tonight for coming on. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Plug it in.
We'll see y'all next time on Travelers.